So to get started, you need to run Flutter create on your terminal and give the name of your project. So in this situation, I name it as Travel App. So to start creating your project. So once it's done, you need to change the directory to the Travel App folder and also open that in VS Code with code in a period. So these are the basic folders and files you see when you generate a Flutter project. So the source code is basically found within the lib folder. Within that, we have the main.dat file. That's where you get started writing the code. So the paspec.yaml file is the file where you get to see your install dependencies. So in here, I need to choose the mobile emulator and run the project. So pressing F5 will just run and debug your code. So this is basically what you see when you run the project. That's the counter app. So when you click on the button there, the value there gets increased. So I'll just get rid of the comments and also the stateful homepage and start from scratch. So I'll return a scaffold in here. So it's basically a class in Flutter that provides many widgets. So within the scaffold, it has a body property, and I'm going to return a test widget for now with the test of Travel App. So the test is found at the top there. So to actually see the test, let's wrap the test widget within the center widget so you can see it well. So I will start by creating a folder within the lib folder, and I'm going to name the folder as screens. So within the screens folder, I'll be creating a file home.dat. So I'll generate a stateless widget here. And I'm going to name the widget as my home. So it's going to return a scaffold for now. So we need to visit the main.dat file and import the home widget. So we get rid of the center in here and also the title and the theme, and import our home widget we just created. So okay, within the home widget, the scaffold has a background property, and let's set the color to what? Colors.black. Okay, there we go. So when you check, you start by creating the header. So it also has an app bar property, which takes in an app bar widget. So within the app bar, it also takes in what? Title. And I'm going to specify a row widget here because I'm going to place items within what? The row widget, which takes in what? A children. So we need to provide the background color for the app bar to be black. So it's going to be colors.black. So once that is done, you can see. So within the children, we're going to specify an icon widget which takes in an icons and specify it to be the icons.main. So you can see it over there. Below the icon is going to be a container widget. I'm going to give the container a width of 25 and height of 25. It also takes in the decoration, which in turn also takes in the box decoration, and I'm going to specify the color to both colors.yellow, so you can actually see it over there. So let's manipulate the width and height to see whether it's okay. Okay, this is okay. So the row also takes in a property, that's the main axis alignment, that align items horizontally. So specify the main axis alignment, which in turn also takes in what? The main axis alignment. So in this situation, we want to space between it. So space between. So within the decoration, let's run the border radius. So by giving it a border radius to be border radius.circular and passing a value. There you go. So the container takes in a child property. So we need to specify the image within the container. So image.asset. Then we move to the images folder and it's named as img.jpg. So you can see it over there. Let's get rid of the color. The image also takes in a property known as the fit, which also in turn takes in a box fit, and let's give it a box fit of what? Cover. So we get cover. So let's change the height to 40. You can see it over there. So you can see the images over here, and to actually make it work, you need to uncomment the assets within the particle.yaml. So let's proceed. So below the app bar, the scaffold takes in the body. So we are going to return a column here. The column takes in the children, that we can specify different widgets within that will be aligned vertically. So the first widget is going to be test, explore. The test also takes in what additional information, that the style, if you want to start the test, which in turn also takes in the test style. So within the test style, you can specify the font size, the color, and everything. So let's give it a color to be white, so we can see it over there. Let's also give it a font size, and the font size is going to be 20. Okay, let's increase it 24, 30. I think it's okay. So let's wrap the text within a padding, so we can have padding around all of its edges. Let's change it to symmetric and change the vertical to 8 and give it a horizontal padding of 12. So there we go. So next to the text is an icon. That's the keyboard down icon. So it takes in the icons and it's keyboard underscore arrow underscore down icon. So we need to save it. Let's change the color to white so you can actually see it over there. So let's give it a color, and the color is going to be colors.white. There we go. So let's wrap the text within a row widget. We want the icon to be next to the text, so let's wrap the text within a row widget and just place the icon. The row widget in turn takes in the children, so you can place the icon within the row widget and saving the changes. You can see we get what you expected. So let's get rid of the padding in here, and also the child. So let's wrap the row within a padding and give it all size to be 15. I think that's okay, and the font size of 40. So let's wrap the icon within a padding. There we go. So below the row widget in which the text and the icon is found, I'm going to specify another row widget that's going to contain the location icon, the input, and also the search button. So the row takes in the children, so the first icon is going to be the location, that's the location underscore on. So let's give the location a color, and the color is going to be colors.white. So you can see it over there. So let's have an expander widget here. So the expander widget takes in the child, and let's specify the child to be test field. So you can see our test field. So let's give some stylings to the test field. The test field takes in a hint text and also decoration. So with the decoration, let's give it an input decoration. The input decoration takes in a hint text similar to placeholder. So the hint text of search for destination. We are not going to say, since our screen is black, so we need to add an additional styling, and that's hint style, which takes in the text style. And within the text style takes in the color. So in here we specify the color to be colors.gray. That way we can see the hint text. There we go. So let's also give the focus border, that's the underline border, underline input border. So within the underline input border, we have the border side property, which in turn also takes in the border side widget. So within that border side widget, we can specify a color, and the color is going to be colors.gray. So we can see the effect over there. Let's wrap the text widget within a padding and change the all to symmetric and specify the horizontal only, that's left and right, to be 20. So you can see it shift a bit. Let's increase the value to 30. Okay, I think that's okay. So below the text field is another icon, and that icon is the search icon. You can see it over there. The icon, let's wrap the icon within a container and give some styling to it. So the container is going to take a width of 40 and a height of 40, and also a decoration, which in turn takes in a box decoration. So within the decoration, you can specify a color, and let's set the color to yellow. Okay, let's give some border radius to the container. So it takes in a border radius property, which also in turn takes in a border radius widget. So border radius dot circular, and pass in a value 8. So you can see it's rounded. So let's wrap the container within a padding widget to get some extra space. Okay, it's looking much good. So let's change the color here. I'll be using hexadecimal so that it will look the same as the UI we are cloning. Let's save in the changes. That's okay. So we are done with the search input field. So let's move on to the next one. So below the row, we are going to return a container as usual. And let's give some width to the container. We are going to give it a width of double dot infinity. So it's like 100% of the screen, and also give a height of 220. So the container takes in a child property. So within the container, we're going to specify the image, and the image is found within the images folder, and the name of the image is 2.jpg. You can see the image over there. The image also takes in an additional information, and that's the fit property. So we can specify the box fit to be covered, so you can get a image fit all around the container. There you go. So let's wrap the side box within the padding. There you go. So let's specify a row here. So the row takes in the children as well. So within the row, we'll be having a text and an icon as well. So I'll grab the text in here. That's draw grave. Okay. So let's give some styling to the text so you can actually see. So within the text style, let's specify the color to be colors.white, colors.gray rather, and give some font size to it. So you can see the text over there. Let's wrap the text within a padding to give some space. So below the text is an icon. Since we put all these widgets within the row, it's going to be next to each other. So the icon is bookmarked. And let's specify the color to be colors.white, so you can see the icon over there. So the row takes in the main axis alignment that align widgets on horizontally. So main axis alignment dot space between, so to give space between the two. So let's wrap the icon within a padding to give enough space around it. There you go. So let's proceed with the description of the trip. So below the row is going to be take a text widget with the following text. Let's give some stylings to it. So it takes in an additional information that the style property, which in turn takes in the text style. So let's specify the color, and let's set the color to colors.white. There you go. So you can, let's wrap the text within a padding so you can give enough space around it. It's looking much good. Let's give some font size of 17. There you go. Let's copy the row in addition with the description and wrap the padding within a column so we can have the children and place all this within it. So let's actually extract a widget, our own custom widget. So let's give it a name of location. It's getting really messy, that's why I did it this way. So there's the location. So it's simply a widget. So all this information is what we just did. So we can return multiple location. So since we place this within the column, we are going to have an overflow. By default, column doesn't scroll, so we need to change the body of the column to list view. It also takes in the children as well. So when you're saving the change, you can see the error is gone. Overflow error is gone. There we go. So we want to change the image, the text, and the description as well dynamically. We create a variable name, description, and image of type string. Within the location widget, we just extract, and within the constructor, we add the required field to all this information. So within the image that we did it, we hard code it. We just change that to what image, and also the name of the location. We're going to take in the name. And also the description, going to take in the description as well. So we'll be getting error. So we need to actually go within the location widget. We just return and pass in all this information we just added to that. So let's return the column with this in the children, and within that children are going to let's actually look through. So we use list. So list.generate, and did that we specify the location dot length, and the second argument is what the index of that. Let's import the location as well. So I just created a location over there. I'll show you notes now. So this is the location class I just created. It takes in the name, the description, and image, and the required constructor field as well. So we are going to have a list of location, which is going to be of that type class location. We have different instances of the location, which have the name, the description, and the image. So we just imported within our home. So list.generate, then the location.length, then the index, and give an instant return of our location widget. We just extract and pass in the information we gave to it. So in this situation, it will be taking what the description, the image, and the name. So let's give it that information. So the image is going to be the location of the index. Then we access the image there. We'll be doing same thing for the description and also for the name as well. There we go. You can see we have a different image, the name, and also the description as well. So this is how we go about it. So let's move on to the next one. That's the trip detail. So when you click on a particular image, it should direct you to the trip detail and see the information about that particular image. Actually make the image clickable. Let's add some widget to the column. Let's wrap the column with a gesture detector. So the gesture detector takes in an on tap property. So that's kind of like a callback. So I'll give you a press. So I'll just create a variable of press, and it's going to be of type void callback. So it's going to be a function. So within the constructor, we require that as well. There we go. So you are actually getting an error That's because we need to add an additional information to the location widget. That's the press, and it's going to be of function. So we use navigator dot push. So within navigator dot push, it is in the context and also the material page route. So within the material page route is a widget. So within that material page route, it takes in a builder, which in turn also takes in a function. So when the image is clicked, we'll be navigating to the trip detail page. So we open the screen folder and create a file, and that file is going to be trip detail.dat. So within that is going to be a stateless widget. You need to import the material.dat. There you go. So within that we need to for now let's return the scaffold widget and saving the changes, and go within the home screen and import the trip detail. You can see we've imported it over there. So now when you're saving the changes and hit on the image, you can see it navigates to a different page. That's the trip detail page. So that's the navigation. So within the scaffold, let's start working on it. You can see you have the same app bar as the home screen. So I'll go within the home screen and copy the app bar property and place it within the scaffold widget. You need to remove the const and saving the changes. So when you click on it, it will navigate to, you can see it over there, but we don't want that arrow icon. So we have one more property, that's the automatically imply leading, and it's a boolean, so we're gonna set that to false. Automatically imply leading, so we're gonna set that to false. So we can see now it's gone. So let's also set the elevation to 0. There we go. So the scaffold takes in the body, so we're going to return a column in here, which in turn also has the children. Within the children, we'll be having a sized box. It's similar to container. So within the sized box, we're going to set a height, and that height is going to be based on the device we are on. So we use the media query.off context and assess the size of the screen, and also we assess the height as well and multiply by 0.6. So in this situation, I want to get the 60% with a height of the device. So the sized box takes in a child attribute, and I'm going to place the image within the sizes box. You can see it over there. So the image also takes in a fit. Let's give it a box fit of cover so you can see it. There you go. There you go. It's looking great. So let's return a column. Within the column, let's return it takes in the children as well. So we're going to have a row widget because we are going to play items within the row. The first item is going to be, or the first widget is going to be the test widget. As you can see over here, it's going to be the test widget with the name of the trip location. So I'll just grab the name in here. There you go. So let's give some stylings to the text as well. So it takes in additional information of style and give a text style. So within the text style, we can specify the font size. The font size is going to be 24. There we go. Let's wrap the text within a padding so you can have an enough space around it. Padding of 8. So below the text, we're going to have two icons. The first icon is going to be the bookmark icon. So we use the icon widget and we access the bookmark from the icon. So icon is bracket icons.bookmark. You can see it over there. So let's repeat that and change it to the next icon. And the next icon is called the more vet. There you go. So you need a space between it. So Flutter provide a spacer widget. So when you provide a spacer, it will push the widget to the extreme end. So we are done with that. Let's move on to the description of that trip. So we get outside this row and specify another text as well. That's going to be the description of the trip. So we go to the location now. We'll just get that description over here and let's copy that. So within it, I'll just paste in it. You can see it over there. So let's wrap the text within a padding so it can have enough space around it. There we go. Let's add some stylings to the text as well. So it takes in what style property, which also intends in this text style widget. So within the text style, we can specify the font size of that text. So the font size is going to be 18. There we go. So below the description is a button. So let's continue with that one. So we specify an elevated button in here. An elevated button is going to takes in an unpressed property. So whenever the button is pressed, that's the function is going to get called. So it takes in an unpressed and also a child, and the child is going to be basically a text widget which says book this trip. So a text widget of a text book this trip. So I'll just let's wrap. So let's first of all start the elevated button. So elevated button dot start from. So it is in the primary, that's the background color, and I'm going to grab the color from the home page and I'll just paste it in here. So when you save in the changes, you can see the color changes. So now let's just wrap the elevator button with the sized box. It's similar to container, so we can just specify the width of this sized box to be double dot infinity. That means 100% of the screen, and also a height of 50. So let's wrap the sized box within a padding and give it a value of 12. There you go, it's looking much good. So let's actually add some styling to the text on the button. So a style with a text style widget. So within that, give the font size, and the font size is going to be 18. There you go, it's looking much good. So to apply the background color, let's move on to the scaffold and give it a background color, and the background color is going to be colors.black. So when you're saving the changes, any black text is going to go black with only the button. You should add the color to the text as well. So it's going to text in the text property, and the text is going to be set to white, colors.white. So I will do that for each of the following, the icons and the description as well. So there we go. So this is basically it. So let's create a variable of trip location, which is going to be of type location. The location is basically the class we just created, that is in the description, the image, and also the name. So it's going to be of that type, so we need to import that. There you go. And also we need to add the required field within the constructor as well. So let's go to within the home and pass in one additional information. So when the image is clicked, it should actually show the image. So that's what we're coming to do right now. So just take the trip location and set it to the location so that we can get the information over here and pass it towards the detail page. So that's basically what we're trying to do here. So we just grab the location here and pass it to the trip detail page. So when we go within the trip detail page, so trip detail page can have access to that. Within the trip detail page, you can just remove the hard-coded image over here and replace it with location.image, trip location.image. We'll do same thing for the description and the icons. The description as well, and also the name as well. So that's basically it. When you click on a particular image, you can see you'll be navigated with dynamic name, description as well. So if you find this video to be very interesting, consider subscribing and also like as well. See you in our next tutorial. Until then, stay tuned.